Hello all my Facebook recipe followers. I'm back in the kitchen this evening, and tonight I am wanting to show you a recipe. It's a flourless cake. That means it has no flour in the ingredients in order to make this cake. So it's a really tasty cake. It is almost like a cross between a pound cake and an actual bundt cake. So it has a pound cake texture and a cake-like texture, and you make it in a bundt pan, or I'm going to make it a little different tonight, and I'm going to show you the different pans that I'm going to use for how I'm going to prepare it. So let me go ahead and just jump into the ingredients here and show you what you're going to need. Like I said, this is a flourless cake. And the ingredients are going to be a little surprising to you because it is flourless on what you're going to use for the flour base. So I know all of you have made banana pudding before, and you use these little vanilla wafers that you buy in the store to make your banana pudding. And you could use them for a lot of different things, but most of the time they're used for making banana puddings. But we're going to use those in this recipe tonight to make this flourless cake. So it's called a flourless cake, and the main ingredient is those little vanilla wafers. So let me just put the camera down here so that you can see what the ingredients are. What you're going to need for this is you're going to need 2 cups of granulated sugar, 2 sticks of softened salted butter, 6 ounces or a small bag of flaked sweetened coconut, 5 eggs, a half a cup of milk. I'm using 2%, but you can use whole. A cup of walnuts or pecans chopped, and 1.5 teaspoon vanilla extract. And the final ingredient is 1 box of vanilla wafers. Now, that equates to 11 ounces. So if you buy a large bag, which I bought a large bag of vanilla wafers, I found them on sale. So it was a bag that had 2 pounds and 8 ounces in it. So for $2, so I couldn't pass it by. So be able to make a banana pudding and this flourless cake, and probably have some left over. So let me kind of just show you how to prepare those vanilla wafers. Now, you're not going to put those vanilla wafers into this mix as they are in the cookie stage here as a whole cookie. You're going to put those either in a food processor. I just use a Ziploc bag, and believe it or not, you've watched me make peanut butter rolls, and I've used a glass to roll it out, but I do have a rolling pin here. So it's a wooden rolling pin, and I find this very useful in regards to making these wafers get into a crunched up powdery form. So I just take them, put them in there, and just crunch them up. So I didn't think that you wanted to watch me this evening crush vanilla wafers, but you can do this in a food processor, or you can use it, put it in a Ziploc bag and just crush it. You could probably use your rolling pin or anything that's going to be able to crush these, the palm of your hand, or something like a bottom of a plate, or even some kind of like soft mallet that you have in your kitchen. So those are the ingredients. And like I said, this is a flourless cake. So let me bring you down here to the mixer and show you how to actually put all these ingredients together. And what I'm going to use for this is I'm going to use my actual whipping whisk attachment beater in my mixer. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my softened butter. Now, your softened butter can be either placed in room temperature to soften, but if you forget, just go ahead and put it in the microwave for about 15 seconds, and it will soften that butter right up. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to cream your butter, your 2 sticks of butter, and get it whipped up a little on medium speed. Okay, that looks like it's whipped pretty good. Let's go ahead and add your sugar, your two cups of sugar. Start it out on slow speed. Gradually increase the speed on your mixer. If you're using a handheld mixer, you can do the same process. I don't know if you all noticed, but my mixer tonight is a different color. Santa Claus brought me a red mixer for Christmas, so it was fortunate because the black mixer just went down on us during Christmas. So this was a great Christmas present. So I've got my little red Cadillac here now of mixers. So let me just show you what this looks like. So I've creamed the butter and the sugar, so it should look like this state right here. What you're going to do now is you're going to start adding your eggs one at a time. Put your mixer on low and slowly add your eggs one at a time. Now I cracked all 5 of these in a bowl for purposes of this video, but you can crack them one at a time. Just be careful not to get the yolks in your mix. Get your shells in your mix. I always try to make this cake whenever I have a lot of leftover egg yolks from making peanut butter rolls. You can use this because this does require 5 eggs. So you can get some of the large eggs and mix them with some extra large eggs. And the recipe should come out just as fine if you've got a lot of leftover egg yolks. I'm going to turn the mixer up a little bit more and add my last egg. This is the first video that's going to be posted out here since Christmas. I enjoyed all the comments and all of the feedback in regards to our 12 days of candy making and all those recipes. Now, I'm going to just let this mix until it's for about 2 minutes, and then I'm going to scrape down the sides of the bowl. Like I was saying, I enjoyed the 12 days of candy making that we had during Christmas. But if you're going to be on here, I'm going to be back on here on Thursday night, and we're going to be starting the Valentine's Day kickoff with cookie making. So I hope that you can join. Please remember to like and share these videos if you want to continue to receive them in Facebook. And follow the Mitch Bailey's Recipe for Success page to ensure that you get notices when I'm going to be on live and when videos come or posted. So I'm going to just go ahead and scrape down the sides of my mixing bowl so everything is incorporated good. Oh, almost lost my beater there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the vanilla wafers. Now I'm going to add those slowly as they're mixing in. And remember, that is a box of vanilla wafers, or 11 ounces. Now this batter is going to be a really thick batter. So don't be alarmed by how thick it looks, because it will be a thick batter. Add about another third of the vanilla wafers, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my ½ cup of milk. Bring you down here and let you see what the batter looks like so that you'll be familiar with it as you compare it to your own. Go ahead and add the rest of your vanilla wafers crushed. This cake is a really good cake because it has a really good shelf life, and it's a great cake to take to any kind of family cookout or church supper or potluck. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my vanilla flavoring. That was 1.5 teaspoons. And I'm going to turn my mixer up and let that mix for about 30 seconds and get it all incorporated before I add the final 2 ingredients, which is 6 ounces of semi-sweet flaked coconut and a cup of chopped walnuts. Remember, you can use chopped walnuts or pecans, whatever you like. I like walnuts in this particular cake. Now, what I find is when you're putting coconut and walnuts into this batter, and as you can see, the batter it's a thick batter almost at this point, but when you add the coconut and the walnuts, it's going to really thicken up. Now, if you have one of these KitchenAid mixers, that coconut may get stuck into this beater, so just be prepared that you may have to take some time to pull it out when you clean it up. So I'm going to add my coconut. And that's going to really tighten up your batter because that coconut is dry, but it gives a really good flavor to this cake. Now I'm only going to mix that in here for just probably about 15-20 seconds just to get that coconut incorporated, because I don't want to tear up that coconut and all of its integrity of its shape. Like I said, that coconut will cling to this mixer, but this whip, so you'll just have to pull it out before you remove it. Now, I am not going to add my walnuts in to my bowl with my whip. I'm just going to add those by hand and incorporate them with my spatula. I just think that the whip will actually tear up those nuts and get them into more of a powdery state, especially if you beat this up on high. And that's your batter, and it is all ready to go. Now your oven is preheated. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees. So let me go ahead and clean this out of the way here so that you can see what I'm doing next. Sorry about having to walk from the camera, but I want to make sure that you can see everything. I'm going to go back here and show you how to actually, what I'm going to use tonight in regards to how this is going to be baked. Now, traditionally this cake can be baked in a bundt cake pan. So I'm not going to use a bundt cake, but if you've got a bundt cake pan, this is what I recommend that you put it in. It just makes it to have a pretty shape, and you can display it on your cake pedestals, and it will last very long. So it's very pretty to display. One of the things, what I'm going to be using tonight is, we're not going to eat all this cake. So I am going to use my little mini bundt pan tins here, and I've got 8 of those, so I'm going to use those. So if you've got these, or you've got just a plain old simple bundt pan, it'll work fine. And if you don't have either of those, you just put this in a sheet pan like you would have for a 9x13 or a 9x11 sheet cake or pancake. So I'm going to put this over here to the side, and if you're using a bundt pan, you're going to spray all of these. So just give them a good generous spray, because you want to make sure that these little cakes release. And if you're doing your bundt pan, make sure you spray it good as well. Now, I'm going to fill these little pans almost all the way to the top. because this will not have a huge rise. It's a very dense batter, so it's not going to be something that is going to explode over these pans. So I'm just going to fill them up almost full. There's probably about 1/8 of an inch left at the top. And if you were going to put this in a bundt pan, you just pour the entire batter that's in the mixing bowl in your bundt pan, place it in your oven, bake it on your preheated oven for 350 degrees for 1 hour. And I'll come back here in a little bit and show you what these little mini flourless cakes look like. Thanks for watching. Hey everyone, I'm back. So remember I told you that your cake will bake at 350 degrees for 1 hour, and that's in a bundt pan. So remember I did my recipe and baked them in these little small miniature bundt pans. Let me bring you down here and show you what I have here. And as you can see, the little miniature pans, they did not have to bake. I watched them, and you'll know that these are done either by doing take you a little dowel or a toothpick or a little skewer here and insert, and if they come out clean, and as you can see, these are done, and you'll also see that they're browning around the edges here. This will be the same kind of texture and look that you'll get if you bake this in a bundt pan. So I'm going to let these cool, and I'm going to, after they cool, let them release from their pans, and they'll be all finished. So these only had to bake in these small pans for 50 minutes. So if you've got these little small pans, I recommend that you watch them and bake them for only 50 minutes. Remember, ovens vary in regards to their temperatures and how fast things bake. So altitude also has affects that as well. So if you are baking in these in a little mini pans, or if you're doing it in your bundt pans, kind of watch it. But the rule of thumb is to bake this for an hour, and check them for doneness by using the simple toothpick insertion, or as I'm using here, a skewer. So hope you enjoyed this video. Remember to like and also follow Mitch Bailey's Recipes for Success if you'd like to see and watch these other videos that are coming up in regards to this cooking social media channel. So remember to like and share and follow, and that way you'll be able to get to watch these videos. Thanks a bunch, and I'll see you next time. Just wanted to bring you back here and let you see what the final product looks like for the flourless vanilla wafer cake. So as you can see, I have all of my little mini bundt cakes all released, and they're ready to be eaten. So let me just kind of show you what they look like. As you can see, they're really nice and got a caramely looking brown, and the little pans that I use have an indentation. So I think what I'm going to do is more than likely put a scoop of vanilla ice cream or some kind of caramel sauce on these when I serve them. So hope you try this recipe. Remember to continue to watch as we do more of these recipes. Hope you enjoy. Thanks a lot for watching.